bands you're listening to at the current moment?
Right now, like new music or whatever?
In general.
My friend Emily just told me about this band Girls that I really liked. I hadn't heard of them before. I'm really bad with keeping up with new bands, so I usually have to have my friends tell me like what's what. But lately I've been listening to lots of like Muddy Waters and like early like 1950s rock and roll, like Little Richard and Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, stuff like that.
Very cool. You brought up Sonic Youth. You worked with Thurston Moore in the past, recording and cover of She Knows a Punk Rocker for Gossip Girl, and on top of that, you're signed to his record label, as Be Your Pet was as well. And he's also been a big supporter of your work. As with all these things in mind, has there been any advice he's given to you in regards of both making a career with this, touring, recording?
I don't know. Thurston's advice is that the other day we were out at dinner and I was like, he was talking and I was like, I told you I wasn't in the business of selling records. I was like, no, you didn't. You never said that because I'm on his label. And he was like, no, I told you guys you shouldn't sign with us and you should just like go on tour and do it yourself. So Thurston's advice, it's kind of opposite of like the situation I'm in right now, but he definitely has good advice. He's a really fun, awesome person.
With the new record, the first single, first video for Breaking Up is I Hate People, which has Iggy Pop on the single. That's really cool. How exactly did it come to have Iggy Pop on the song?
Thurston and Kim, they have a relationship with Iggy, so they really help me out. Just sort of as an idea, like it'd be really cool to get Iggy Pop to sing on a song, and we'd written I Hate People, and our producer John and Yellow thought it'd be a good idea for to send it to him, and it turned out Iggy liked it, and Thurston kind of talked to Iggy and his manager, and he sang on the song. So it was really cool.
As I was talking about, and also by the way, you do a great job of harmonizing with each other on the track as well. That's really awesome. The video is really cool as well. I just saw it today.
I haven't even seen the finished product, so.
It's on Stereodome.
Oh, okay.
They premiered it today, actually.
I have no idea. No one told me.
Well, now you know.
No one tells me anything.
As I was talking about the album, as you brought up that John, who's now the guitarist for your band as well, he co-wrote the album with you. Was there any pressure for the two of you to come up with material more for a solo record as opposed to being in the band, or was it easier because he was with you?
Well, it was kind of funny because when the band broke up, Universal kind of came to me and they're like, we still want to, Universal and Static Peace came to me and they're like, whatever you want to do, we want to put out. And also, like, Be Your Own Pet owed them one more album, so there's a thing called like first rights when you have a record contract. So band breaking up, Universal had first rights to whatever I do, so if they get to hear it first, and if they don't want to put it out, I can go to another label, but they did want to put it out. And it kind of, John wasn't at the beginning of the project. I was kind of working with like Steve McDonald, who I worked with, Be Your Own Pet, he produced us, and sort of figuring things out. And so John kind of came in, we started writing songs together like after it was sort of already figured out that it was a solo record, so it's kind of awkward. But next album, this is the last album that I owe Universal, so next album it might not be like Jemina Pearl. Well, we'll see. I feel kind of funny having it just be my name everywhere in my picture. I'm not used to that at all. So.
It's really awesome, though. The first noticeable thing about the album is that it's not as raw or frantic even as like the Be Your Own Pet albums, but yet it retains a lot of the excitement and the energy of those records. And in fact, some of the songs are even danceable. In creating the album, was there a conscious thought to shift away from that particular sound or feel?
I wouldn't say like necessarily like conscious, like we don't want to be like Be Your Own Pet. I think, I was in that band since I was 15, and I turned 20, I'm 22 now. I turned 21 when Be Your Own Pet broke up, and I think I was just ready to do some different stuff and try some different things. And there were lots of things I was inspired by and influenced by that wouldn't necessarily work with like the Be Your Own Pet formula. So I think, like 60s girl groups and like more like kind of glam poppy stuff like Sparks or like Susie Quattro, and I think I just wanted to get to do these things that I didn't really have an outlet for before.
Cool. Awesome for mentioning Sparks. That's really cool. Also with, sorry, I'm like losing notes as always.
That's okay.
Is there anything on the album that you recorded or wrote for the album but didn't have time to finish in time, or something that you like didn't include on the album but may include for future?
We have there's like 2 B-sides from the album. They're just songs that we didn't, not like we didn't like them as much. We just felt like the other ones were better, I guess. I don't know. And then I have a bunch. Me and John went and covered a bunch of like 60s girl group songs. So we have a couple B-sides. A lot of them are covers, but we covered Susie Quattro's 48 Crash and a quick song, No No Girl. So those will probably come out eventually on a single.
As you just mentioned, I guess this is a follow-up question I would have worked with like a couple questions ago. You mentioned like outside influences for the record. What particular outside influences influenced the record?
Like Sparks, and definitely Sparks a lot, and 60s girl groups like the Shangri-Las, and also I was listening to lots of I was listening to like Transformer by Lou Reed, and I was listening to a lot of David Bowie. So I guess I was kind of listening to more like solo performers like Lou Reed and David Bowie, sort of like as a model in a way, like what, I don't know, because I was doing my solo record, sort of looking at them as a model, especially Transformer, because I feel like that album's got like really wide spectrum of like songs, like they're all kind of different, but it all works really well together. So I was hoping to aspire to do something that was somewhat similar to that.
Very cool.